right. Hello. It's Saturday. We're back for another stream. See the blank cutting mat here. The camera's slightly out of whack. Starting our redacted build here tonight. So I guess this will be the first disclaimer. If you are waiting in yours and you want it to be a surprise still, I don't think there should be many that haven't arrived, short of extreme circumstances. But if you're one of those people, it would be a good time to duck out now. But so I'm gonna start working on the redacted kit tonight, and all that good stuff. Before I break this sucker open and jump into that, a couple quick things. One, if you enjoy these streams, please do hit that like button. It helps people see the stream on YouTube, which is always a good thing. And number two, the Mecha Warehouse Black Friday sales event started this week. If you haven't taken advantage of it yet, and I feel like there's a relatively low odds that you haven't based on the number of orders we have in front of us right now, head over and check it out. We have up to 80% off items. Discounts are automatic for this one. And the collections are all linked on the front page there, so you can go check out what's available at different discount levels. A lot of good stuff in there. Some surprising sellouts already, which is kind of cool. And I think we're about 3 weeks, maybe more at this point, behind on packing as a result. So if you place an order, just don't expect it to ship next week. So I think that's it. Actually, I want to jump into the chat and say hello. And then I will break this out. Keep the suspense going for another minute or two here. What's up, Kumar, Jason S, Reluctant Baker, Baka ZCO, Butterknuckles, Christopher, Big Deal, what's up, Beth Mahoney, happy build night all. Hope your week was better than mine. It's a loaded statement. Hope your week wasn't that bad. Real time, what's up, Johnny, Twizzle, what's going on, Kilo Delta, Weeks K, Solid Monkey, Marcus Hatch, Christopher. Surprised we aren't seeing you build Sean a mech suit to keep him going. Yeah, he's the hero right now, grinding it out in the warehouse. Maverick Entity, what's up? Rob Sadler, John C. My Friday promotion is amazing. I'll definitely take advantage for some great savings. Secret Santa, sign up in the 0 hour, nice. Hey, Atomic Etrigan, what's up? Donald Clark. I was wondering why it hadn't been packed yet. I was hoping it was volume of orders. Congrats, thanks. Yeah, it is. We haven't had this many orders all at once, perhaps ever. Inventory reduction comes to mind, where that still has the 1-day sales record, but we were not going anywhere near as deep, so that we probably sold more individual units and volume of inventory, and we had a bit more packing capacity at that time. So we're definitely gonna be a little bit behind. The last like 3-4 days, each day has been adding a lot more orders to the backlog of orders to go out than we were, sending out. Today might be the first day that we're under the average number of orders we can pack for the day, although there's still time. So I think it's slowing down a little bit, but there's a lot of good stuff on there still. And yeah, we're gonna keep at it. We'll get caught up at some point. Let's see. What's up, M2020 Jake? Got some great deals off Black Friday sale. Awesome, thank you. Really happy with the redacted kit. Glad to hear that, Twizzle. House AP a 00 Riser MG. Nice. Just got my Mecha Warehouse Black Friday order. You must have placed your order really early, because I feel like we've only had a couple, like 3 days of packing, 2 or 3 days of packing those orders at this point. I went into the warehouse, as I usually do, 1 day per week or 1 day every other week, to take care of some stuff. And so I stopped in, brought some stuff over from the storage unit for the sale, and picked a set for Sean, because he actually came in for a couple extra hours to get caught up. He got slammed yesterday with one order that was absolutely massive. If you're in the Discord, you might have saw he posted a picture, I think, of everything before and after he packed it. That ate like half a day, just that one order, because it was so ridiculous. English should be real. Your shipping turnaround is one of the best anywhere for real. We can give you grace with these amazing savings. Worth it. Appreciated. Thanks, Christopher. Woman slipped down 2 steps and tore ligaments in her knee and can't walk, so to do all the things plus help her get around. That's that's rough. Hope she has a full and quick recovery, but ligaments and knees and all that kind of stuff. Knees are horrible. So I'm caught up to nobody's here. Which way do I want to face? This towards me. This is our redacted kit, the full mechanics Miles Kembu. Definitely our largest redacted kit. I think this will be my first like large kit that I painted, if you could say that. I guess we'll see when it's all built how big it is compared to the other things I painted. But just got my order fast. Should be right Monday. You guys rock. Awesome. Thank you. I enjoyed that anime. I haven't seen it yet. Black Friday order is arriving early this next week. Thank you for amazing deals and great shopping experience all around. No problem. Thanks for the kind words. Just hoping that everybody else is as understanding as well. We're trying to send out, like in our emails and stuff, give updates about where we're at and how long the delay is and stuff, so people can make good decisions about what they're ordering and understand where we're at. Taking a lot of time with this kit. Been slowly building the legs, trying to make sure I remove all the nub marks and seam lines. I've heard there's some nasty ones in some of the discussions so far. So there's a bunch of runners. I'm going to be taking my time as well. My goal though is to have this fully snap built, and ideally the additional detail I want to do to it prior. A thick book too. Large manual on this one. Doing a lot of high grades lately, but I want all that stuff done prior to the Christmas holiday because I think I'll be having some time off then, hopefully. Is there water slide decals for it though? I can't seem to find any. Yeah, I wonder if somebody makes some for it, or how there's the generic aim water slides that they were doing for promo stuff for a while there, and I wonder how those, if any of those work for this. Like you got a summary page with all the steps. So right leg assemble, left leg assemble, waist assemble, body assemble, right arm, left arm, head. This one kind of builds up from the bottom. I feel like the rifle for this is pretty cool looking. Found water slide decals on eBay. Cool. Alright. Before I put the feet together, I had to sand down some of the edges, parts B34, 35 to get it fit into B32. Zipload Chronos. Okay, so runner wise, does this one late enough to tell you what runners you need? Yeah, it does. Okay, let's start finding runners. It's like A, B, E1, E2, F, G1, H1, H2, and the stickers. H1 and E2 right here. I need both of those. Happy build night. Thanks, Lord Kronos. Let's have a good night. Happy building. Thank you. How did you come to this kit for the redacted contest? Was it mainly price and availability? Yeah, I mean, there's... I almost don't want to say it. So, like, 2 or 3 years ago, we were shipped a pallet of these by Bandai when we were direct to them that we didn't order. And clearly we still had at least some of that pallet left. We've never actually listed this kit in the base form on the website when we ordered it. We still have, I think, 1 or 2, unless they sold this week, of the clear parts, like first edition ones that were the original, like original release of it, or whatever you want to call it. And so I had a bunch of them on hand. Price was right. Could offer them at a tremendous price compared to MSRP, which is always a good thing. And it was a cool kit that I kind of wanted to build. It was a good excuse to build one. Maybe working on my Yakushika crash before I start something new, but I kind of want to on the redacted kit. I hear you. There's one first production kit left on the site. I was looking at that earlier today. Yeah, it was kind of cool. It had clear parts or whatever. I don't know if it was any more expensive than the regular one, but we got enough of the first editions when the first run when they came out. We got a lot of them because AMAM was really hot when we ordered them, and then AMAM got very cold once it was no longer kind of front and center for people. There was a period where we like couldn't get enough AMAM stuff, and then overnight it seemed to kind of change. Okay, here's G1. Really take my time, make sure I organize all this stuff. A lot of parts here. So this is C2 and D2, neither one I need. So let's set those aside. Not so many of those AMAM kits on clearance. They're good kits from what I understand. I haven't built any. This will be my first AMAM anything personally. But a lot of them look cool, and they've got like not the like Gundam look to them, which is kind of cool. Excited about that kit. Still formulating ideas on it. Yeah, I've got ideas here. A lot of it comes down to the painting, I think. I feel like this is a design that could really benefit from different colors. Cool, that's full mechanics, a red contest. I'm excited to start mine for Thanksgiving. Nice. Yeah, it was a cool option, and I was excited to be able to do something that was as like high value as this is. Okay. There we go. I was very entertained by people speculating on the Discord about what it would be. Some people got close with AMAM, but I think they were all expecting the high grades or whatever because of the price point of the box. And I feel like people always forget that when we do these kind of mystery box things, we're trying to bring more value than what the sticker says. Right, so those might be runners. Okay, I need E1 and E2. Here's E1. This is my third MM kit. I had interest in one of the MM kits, and that was the Mark II Ghost, which I never picked up when I had the chance. Different judging categories aren't there. How do those work? Yeah, so for Redacted, this is same as the last two. We have a open category and an out-of-the-box category. So open is more or less anything goes, right? Customize, paint, change things. The only real criteria is that it has to be recognizable as the kit. You can't just completely kit bash it to the point where you can't recognize it at all, but you can make major changes to it. Out of the box, the idea is mainly just paint, right? Subtractive modifications, so if you want to add panel lines and stuff like that. But the idea is for people that maybe don't want to get priced out of competition, where they don't have the resources to buy a lot of customization stuff and parts and tools and whatever, that it can still be competitive. Etc. What do you think about P. Bandai's mystery boxes? I haven't heard anything about them. I haven't had remotely a chance. Okay, G1. G1, where is it? I have a G1 already. I do have a G1 already. Look at that. So we got A, B, E1, E2. I have an E2, that is an E2 runner, but that's the F holder. There's a question in Discord if Halo Foil tape is still out of box. To look at what our decisions were, there was an FAQ page. I wonder if we answered that one before. I'd have to think about that one. Basically, is they somehow make the kit look like a tall geese, then they're out. Right. Right. Now you could make it a tall geese version of the Miles Kembu. You could, change stuff like that. But you can't just like, oh, I want to take the body and turn it upside down and take arms from something else and legs from something else and, completely rearrange it and still call it the Miles Kembu. It has to be the Miles Kembu at the end of the day. Otherwise, there's really not a huge point to us all building the exact same kit. The weathering and panel lining would be under the out-of-box build. Yeah, you can weather there, you can paint anything that's essentially, like, you can put coatings, you can put stuff on it. So I want to say the whatchamacallit, hollow foil, whatever, is probably fine, but I have to double check with precedent and make sure that we didn't answer a question like that last time around, because I want to stay consistent. You know what, these H runners can go just on the bench. Or at least that one can. Here we go. I think that's everything finally. So A, B, E1, E2, F, G1, H1, H2, and stickers, but I'm not doing stickers because this will be painted. Finally ready. Basically, they somehow make this get to that one. They couldn't all have been able to join the stream like 2 months to stop by to say happy building everyone. I'm necessary to build sesh with the stream. Thank you for stopping by. FAQ on your website would be great. There is an FAQ on the actual contest page. You can link it from the product page. It should be pinned in the Redacted channel if you're on the Discord. There is an FAQ from the previous ones where we basically added answers to questions. I feel like we've covered a lot of things at this point, so I had to basically check those answers for clarity to make sure that they're see where the new thing fits in that same framework. Are you going over everything again? Would be a post stating what and what is not allowed, so to speak. Yes, that's the FAQ page that already exists. If you go on that page, it should answer most of everything. And then if you don't have an answer there, feel free to email me or post on the Discord channel, and ping me or whatever, and when I get a chance, I'll come up with the official answer, probably add it to the FAQ page so everybody can benefit from it. All that good stuff. All right. Right leg assemble. Custom number decals count open, or are the decals allowed for both versions? Decals, I believe, were allowed for both categories. I'm going to bring up these rules real quick, since we're talking redacted anyway. Yeah, out of the box will consist of entries using only the contents of the box and may use no additional parts or accessories other than paint or decals. Only listed parts from the kit may be used in their original intended form, so no use of runners, trimming or reshaping pieces, etc. Category open will consist of entries using any number of additional parts or accessories. So you can use decals, you can use paint in out of the box. You can't heavily customize parts. I think it's in the FAQ page that you can panel line and stuff like that. You can add details by, you know, carving, shaping stuff, as long as you're not majorly reshaping them. FAQ, are third-party stickers, decals allowed in out of the box? Yes, maybe using decals or stickers in out of the box. Seam line removal okay for straight build? Absolutely. You can, like FAQ, there's a question from previous years, can you put putty or cement be used to fill seam lines or hollow areas out of the box? And you can, yes. You can use an action base. You just won't be judged on the action base in out of the box, or the stand, or whatever you put it on. You can alter the surfaces, texture, whatever, battle damage. You just can't add materials. 3D metallic stickers or photo etch be used in out of the box. You cannot use photo etch since it requires additional parts. As for 3D metallic sticker, you may use a metallic sticker to add a marking on your build, but cannot use something to add a three-dimensional part such as a vent or a fin. So, I think that answers the hollow question actually. Or is probably fits into that same kind of category. What if I build an action base out of the actual box? I think for out of the box, you just aren't being judged on whatever it's on. Okay. B8, 9, and 10. A lot of them you can kind of just think about the intent of the rules, and that kind of gives the clarification to what it is, right? The intent behind having an out-of-the-box category is to make this accessible to people that can't do heavy customizations. You're not competing against somebody doing ridiculous technical stuff. And so most things, maybe not everything, but most things you can kind of answer the question based on that. Should have grabbed fresh sanding implements while I was at the warehouse today. Do I have any? I don't think I do. That's okay. What's everybody up to tonight? Or sure, at least one or two of you guys are probably building your own redacted kits. My first commission, RG high new with Cosmos LEDs. That's cool. I might need to get like eye loops or whatever so I can see getting apples for pies. That's cool. I like apple pie. Working my HG Pale Rider E2 that showed up today. Working with Redacted 3, legs just about done. Doing water slides for HDL for the Earth, building Pokemon Mirror done. Put the Koraidon last week, lots of stickers. Decided what I want to build next. Though my friend did order me Fat Cats, upscaled God Gundam for my birthday. Built a chest in my redacted build. Got the SD I knew. And the top coat Night Quest Fancy Redacted, taking a break from more complex kits with an HG Age 1 kit. Cool. Grinding in Dragon Quest 3. Prepping a G-Puck red gun over paint. I can't decide whether I want to make the red better or black it out. Building a RE100 Gundam Mark III Unit 8. Is that like a P Bandai? GSD Ariel. Well, I redacted the kid, but instead picked up a golden retriever puppy today who was sleeping on my lap, and I didn't have the heart to wake him. Awesome. It's cute. Some laundry done since tomorrow I'm going with a bunch of dads to a local all-you-can-play arcade. Alright. That's cool. Kill our shelf space with this redacted kit. This 2018 P Bandai, I thought so. I feel like I would have been more aware of that had it been a regular release. Demon Slayer ran Goku no sticker and hand painting where they go, but just took a break to play some Super Robot Wars. Crack open a box of Gundam TCG. It's cool. Should we get into the TCG? I don't have any more room for collectibles. I feel that. I need to build more stuff. My backlog is overtaking space I set aside to be like backlog for everybody else in the house. Whoops. Well, I feel like cards are a more space, they take up less space, right, than other collectibles. Your fault, they're not living up to the backlog expectations. We're currently building. This is the AIM Full Mechanics Miles Kembu. I'm just starting on the Redacted 3 kit for the contest following that. Like weather's a thing, could just make backlog warehouse building out of your backlog. Display a set from a certain faction or series. How do they display them? Okay. But it's a lot easier to use binders or boxes to store those and just display a few of them. You could frame them and put them on the wall. I feel like compared to a lot of other quote-unquote collectible things, not quite as bad. Yeah, the wall did not think of that. Yeah, like you could, like, there's options there that you don't necessarily have as easily with like model kits, say, or figures, statues, other three-dimensional things where you might need a shelf or something to put them on. You could put cards on a shelf, but it might not be the most efficient way to store or display them. I'm going really, really slow. You just started, but how is the nub cleanup going so far? So far, so good. I'm being extra careful on this one. I'm planning on painting it. I just want to do a really good job on this kit. Nope, I gotta do the other piece now. Almost ready to snap pieces together. This is a great pick, but man, you're mean for this kit. There's a lot more surface cleanup on it than a standard Bandai kit. I wonder how many entrants will get it tripped up by it. Good contest pick, thank you. I honestly wasn't. I mean, I was super focused on that, making that the thing. No, it was more a. Felt like a good kit for a number of reasons, but that doesn't hurt for making it easier to judge in some ways when the kit's really challenging. The hopefully helps us differentiate when we got kits that are close when we're trying to decide winners. Watch a review of that kit the day it arrived. The details are great from what I saw. I can't settle on an idea yet. What happens if I order the MG00 Quanta and it went out of stock? So if you ordered right now, the odds of yours being affected by us running out when we run out is very low. We still have a decent number, so if you ordered it tonight, you probably would still get yours before we ran out. If we did run out, just like any other time that we run out, when that does happen, we would offer you a refund or a chance to swap it out on the order if you wanted to still make use of shipping. For example, if you had placed a larger order to try to feel good about your shipping charge, things like that. But you'd be taken care of. And we generally take pretty good care to minimize the risk. We occasionally run out of things because a count was off. It's hard to keep, 1,000, 2,000 SKUs always perfectly counted, but sure, I got the last Metal Gear Rex you had on the sale. Awesome. There's a bunch of things that have sold out. And a lot of them are things that I didn't expect would actually sell out. I didn't think we would sell out of the high-grade Penelope, for example. We've had it on some pretty deep sales in the past, and it didn't really move very fast, so whatever combination of things is moving a lot of stuff. Their HGs are out of stock. So kits come and go, so if you're new to the hobby or not super deep in it, there's a ton of stuff that's just out of stock, generally speaking, because it hasn't been printed in a while. You can't keep everything in stock all the time. So it's going to look like we're out of stock on a lot of stuff. It's just kind of how the industry works. Okay, Trader Gundam looks good for 60%. I think we only have a few of those left on the site right now as well. It's another one I was kind of surprised would actually go. Funny enough, most kits are out of stock when you think about it. Or how many people bought the MMHG weapon set for the redacted build, not thinking about it, not the same scale. I don't know. I think a bunch of those moved as well. But a bunch of MM stuff that we had on there was going pretty well too, so I think a lot of them are probably the right size for high grades Gundam stuff if you were doing custom kit bashing stuff. Got all I wanted, went in there pretty quick as the sale started. The second halfway movie coming out spiked Penelope sales, maybe. It's very possible. But we're cursed with success the last few days with all those orders we've got. Test message, see if YouTube gave my name back. It did. Might look empty once Black Friday's over. It very well might. If I had more money, I would have got a lot more. A ton of variety in the Black Friday sales. Some of what I snagged, I've been eyeing for a long time. It made it easier to buy with great discounts. Nick, how you doing, man? I'm doing okay. How are you? Made an MG High New Gundam, Char Custom, non-Verka. That's cool. Red and pink kind of color scheme, and what else did you do to it to make it Char? Just the color scheme, or decals maybe, or something else? Hoping that there are still kits left over by Friday. There'll be something left over by Friday, I bet. Nick, can you add Rui tool nippers? I'm not even aware of Rui Tool, so probably not, at least not in the near term. Good guy, but is there a drawing tonight? There is not, so two reasons for that. One is with the sale and being as slammed as we are, I figured making Sean pack one more order wasn't great, and with some of the prices we got, we're practically giving away stuff all week in the next few weeks, so figured I'd see what happens if we didn't do a drawing for a change. Might be the first time we've ever not had a drawing. It's the first time I can remember anyway. But that could just be me aging. Makes sense, all good. Yeah, no worries. I figured some people would probably be asking tonight. I feel like some of the items are 80%. I feel like you've been trying to sell for like 2 years now. A lot of it, yes. Generally speaking, if something made the 80% sale, it felt like it wasn't moving nearly at all at any other discount level we had tried. There's probably a couple of those things that were slightly miscategorized, but generally speaking, yes, there's definitely stuff. There's a bunch of stuff that just nobody wants. And I think there's things in that category that still aren't going at that price. Might be destined for a dumpster at some point in the future. I don't know. Just wanted more build time without having to think about the drawing. That helps too. So Razor worth it? Absolutely, iGrim. It's kind of game changing. Got any steady? I do not. I think they actually sent me some samples a while back, but we never executed on it. There's a lot of overlap with Disbay and Godhand, and just trying to not overload things with purchasing and maintaining stock and organizing stuff. I don't think it didn't really feel like it would add a ton to our sales volume, which was part of why we didn't move forward on that. And just bandwidth. Bandwidth is a big part. Used steady nippers for years. They're pretty decent. Can't confirm Razor's worth it. I'm just trying to get Kate more free time because she wants to start baking more again, and I want to let her. Don't throw away, give away, make unsellable into prizes. Maybe. There's enough of it that I don't want to pay to ship all of that stuff. When I say dumpster, probably more like, is there a local high school or middle school that has a club that could use them for something or something like that? People start camping out Mecha Warehouse dumpster. We'll worry about those details after the sale, what we're going to do with that. But at some point, if nobody's buying stuff, we got to figure out how to get rid of them. But there's thankfully not a ton of things in that collection, and a lot of things are moving pretty well, that we were not holding our breath for good performance. Okay. So these parts of the legs are probably somewhat contained in the armor, so I don't necessarily need to oh shoot, I didn't need both these. A7 is that one, and the other one I needed was A17. Honestly, I don't think people would camp out the dumpster, and the reason I say that is if you're not willing to spend like the $3 for the thing at 80% off, then spending a significant amount of time out in front of a dumpster to get one seems unlikely. Newer weapons has some real promise for kit bash fodder in the 80%. Only 9 left, so I encourage everyone to give them a look. Yeah, a lot of, I mean, anything that's at that price is good for how can I repurpose this? Even if it's something that's not in a category you would normally consider. Item I was thinking of the braiding fox. I'm not sure what you mean. Never know, it's weird. Some people go through for free stuff. Cross decals may not be popular, but you can use it for gunning. True. A lot of decal sheets are great when you're doing anything that's got numbers or generic symbols on them. Almost any sheet could become kind of a generic caution decal sheet in some ways. I've used decal sheets from all sorts of stuff for doing custom decals on things. I wish I had the money to get some of the Muv-Luv kits. They're interesting. Amounts of decals just thrown away, ready for the taking. Yeah, those we probably wouldn't throw away any of those, because if we decided to dispose of them, I'd probably just stick them in a box and take them home. Use them whenever I need generic decals for stuff. These I think get covered. And if not, I guess I'll be back. Obviously, there's 80% off decals. Work quite well with the redacted kit. Yeah, I'm just shamelessly acting as your salesman. Well, someone's got to do it. I really appreciate it. I noticed somebody, I should have noted the name because they deserve a virtual high five, but somebody chimed in when the sale went live in the redacted channel about all the builder's parts and stuff that were included being good for, you know, redacted. Which is not untrue. Do you have a family movie tonight? If so, what movie? We watched Iron Giant tonight. Kate apparently had never seen it, and neither of the kids. It's like a kind of a classic at this point. I kind of want an Iron Giant model kit. See if I actually do a build. I think I may go to a box with a twist. M. Night Shyamalan a bit build blog. Yeah, Shyamalan Ding Dong, whatever the hell his name is. M. Night Shyamalan build. Really, that is a classic. I feel like it's kind of a classic. Is it not? At this point, I don't know. New Fantastic Four wasn't too bad. Maybe it's just nostalgia for my youth, but I remember seeing it as a kid. It's probably a teenager, maybe early teens. I did not mean to put a question mark there. Okay, that makes more sense. Didn't know if I was somehow going against the grain on that one. I go, you stay. Yeah, there's some good lines in there. He's a banger. I feel like a kit of the Iron Giant would be cool. to rerun it on Cartoon Network all the time back in the day. Only M. Night movie I like was Unbreakable. Unbreakable was a really good movie. I kind of want to see the other two that are supposed to be part of that like trilogy. I watched that movie for the first time in high school in an animation class, which ended up being almost more like a comic book class for whatever reason. We watched that and discussed all the symbolism and all the other kind of stuff. And it was such a cool premise as like a superhero movie, you know, but like a non-superhero superhero movie. Glass and Split. I haven't seen Glass Split. They're kind of weird. Also made before superhero movies were really a thing. Yeah, just kind of cool. I haven't seen a ton of his other movies, but I feel like, oh, it's like the Robot Chicken, like what a twist. Where it pops out or whatever. Oh, robots make everything better, generally speaking. Except for that one that some Russian company unveiled a AI robot or something earlier in the week on the 11th or something like that. I'm going to see the clip of that thing and it stumbles around a little bit and then falls flat on its face. Great tech demo there for the world. Probably gonna get covered too. I should just put it on. Did not know that. Just Googled it to be sure. Yeah, take a look. It's pretty funny. It's funny. Best part was when that failed that covering it with a twisted up curtain like nothing happened. I didn't see that part. I just saw the clip of it walking out and falling, and then the guys diving over trying to help it back up or whatever. I mean, it's kind of lame to laugh at someone else's failure like that, but you know, I don't have a smart robot that can walk or anything that I designed. But getting to me a pains to emulate Char Pink. I'm not sure. Ship NYC or NYS. We ship anywhere in the US. Certain paints we won't ship to territories or like Alaska, Hawaii because of hazmat issues, but New York is not a big deal for that. That test is prior. Did they just build it backstage files before they went on? I mean, working in technology, the number of times I've seen things that feel like they work very well in your testing, and then you go to show it to somebody else and they fail. Like I've experienced that once or twice in my life, and even more so, some executive probably said, "Oh, it's good enough. We have to do this demo today," and some of the engineers are probably like, "No, we're not ready." That also happens a lot. I'm getting more done this kit. When there's not a drawing, I would be down for periodically not doing giveaways and just building. Here, Mega Hobby is closing their website next year. I did not. I don't even know who Mega Hobby is, but I'm not surprised because it's a difficult environment to sell model kits in my opinion. Just modeled off a person drunk off vodka walking around. Yeah, the robot just is Russian to the core. In the most irresponsibly stereotypical ways. Tamiya doesn't have any sort of pink that would be similar to char pink. You have to mix it manually. Tamiya is typically military colors and primary colors. However, Mr. Hobby, Aqueous has the exact shade. And it's got flashbacks to my group engineering project in college. These Tamiya cans, I can't afford an airbrush. Oh, we don't carry any sort of cans. All right. Oh, I'm supposed to put this inside here. Those parts come apart pretty easily. Okay, F18 and F19. F19. Built a Rube Goldberg machine meant to pop a balloon. Worked well in testing, but failed at the time of judging. Still got a B, though. Is that just a random class, or was that like a capstone design project or something? They call it different things, different places. Currently building a MG Gym 2.0 outfit pink and or green colors. Interesting. A lot of surface area on these parts. Made an MG Nemo Char Custom. It's a WD-30th. Forget, but we actually had a Mega 3 Lego build in SolidWorks. If you forget, then it probably wasn't, because a lot of engineering programs was usually like a final design class. Usually it's a team effort, and you work on, making something. Where I went, we actually had a customer, a project sponsor, if you will, that we were doing the project for, and it was like a year-long thing. It was like 2-part classes, so you had it like all year, and everyone in the engineering program had to complete it to graduate or something. Simultaneously, like the best and worst experience of the whole thing, I think. Doing multicolored layered paint work is tedious but rewarding, for sure. Masking and stuff like that, when it comes out good, is awesome. And when it doesn't, it's super frustrating. MG Shenlong, Gundam Char Custom. Nice. Oh yeah, nothing that big. Yeah, so if you if it was, you would have remembered it. Like it was a while ago at this point, but those details are. So you're quite the Char custom guy. You're a Char fanboy, I guess. The it was a big deal. Consumed a lot of time. It's definitely one of those classes where you're doing your 3 credits, but you're spending a lot more than the normal 3 credits worth of time on it, because a lot of it is stuff outside of class, working on doing the design stuff. And bottom of the MG Garrett Doga's feet right now. I'm getting quite a bit of detail to paint. That's cool. It's a random chart custom. You can blame Lava. This piece had more than 2 nut marks on it. I'm struggling a little to find them all. There we go, there's the other one. Well, Mecha Color Pink is a pretty good char pink in my opinion. I haven't checked that one out. I haven't done any char painting. Back up the upper 70s this weekend with low humidity, so I'm taking advantage of it to get some painting done. Nice. Actually, I was able to spend some time last weekend. I was able to finish those last couple of accessories from the other kit I was building. Did some hobby time with my boys. We got the one more bench up here to the attic too, which is nice. Here guys, I was looking for a rattle can. Very true. Solution Char Custom Rick Dom. Isn't that a kit that exists? Not that you couldn't do it with just the Dom kit in general. I can get this one finished this weekend so I can get started on the Kembu. G chars worked on, HG chars worked on. It exists in various forms, but I know you could do it better. I need to break out one of these MG DOMs I have at some point too. They keep staring at me. Three to dominate your time. This is rare considering it's more or less a recolor. Nick and just build scaled nuclear thrusters for to hover around in, sending unique type energy waves to make them stare at you. MG Rick Dom is staring at me. My MG Dom is still in storage. I have a Dwaj too that I wanted to build that I got from P Bandai. Hoping to be able to do hobby time again tomorrow and start making it a weekly Sunday activity again. There was a period where I was doing pretty good. I was pretty consistently able to paint and build, and it's been a while. I know my kids would like to have that back. I wouldn't mind either. At some point I'll be able to free up some time. The only person there's a hard time telling the difference between a Dom and a Rick Dom. I think they're pretty similar. I think it's challenging. It's kind of like telling the difference between a Zaku F or a Zaku J or whatever. If you know what to look for, you can identify them, but most people don't know what they're looking for. What's up, Drifts? Excited for my big Black Friday order for you guys. Awesome Tennis Geek, thank you for your order. I'm glad you're excited. When do you place it? Where it'll take us a while to get all those out the door with the massive number of orders you've received this week. Well, I expect it to slow down a little bit. I suspect we're going to have a decent number of orders the next few weeks until we get to the end of the sale. Or we run out of stuff. Whichever comes first, I guess. I could enjoy the sale. I have to simply cheer for your success. No spare funds this season. Excited for my order as well. I got a notification on Thursday it shipped and should be in Jersey on Monday. I hit about 80% for some kits I've looked at before but passed for other stuff. Economy's kicking me square in the crotches here. I hear you. It'd be amazing if you guys didn't have enough inventory for any Christmas sale after Black Friday. Yeah, I mean, in another week or two, we might be able to turn everything off and turn the website off completely and still have enough orders to carry us through the end of the year for packing. So there's some real possibilities there. Oh, these little surface things, there's these lines, right? Do I sand those off because they're not really part of the intended detail? Or are they supposed to be there? They're like not super prevalent. I hate when things are not super clear. I think they're just the way the molds break. Time to invest in an airbrush. Buy too many route cans is going to kill my wallet. People say they can't afford an airbrush, so they buy cans, but when you add it up, I don't know how people afford cans unless you're only painting 1 or 2 kits. Welcome to the struggle with this kit, Nick. So those, in your opinion, Skyrider, are those, have you looked at those? Are those just mold stuff? Like, I think it is, but you could almost scribe them out or something and make them into something. Mold lines. Okay. All around all the surface details. These ones are pretty deep. Sometimes they're pretty shallow, and like this side I can't catch a fingernail on very easily, but this one I kind of can. It's definitely gonna be a challenge. But around the joint parts too, so some people just sand all the detail off with the mold lines. Yeah, these little like hash mark pop out things. I mean, you could do that as an aesthetic choice, I suppose. That's why I was saying this kit has some unusual surface detail issues. Put that razor to work. I can see people not clean those up. I would not be surprised. Certainly would be the easiest way to go. And it's a good way to differentiate yourself, especially like on the out of box. If you really want your kit to look good and stand out, you remove them or find a way to make them very intentionally part of the kit. Like I could very much see taking that particular detail and scribing it or whatever to make it look like it's a panel line or something. There's a lot of surface area on here in general, so there's a lot of scribing and plot plating, etc. options for adding detail to this kit. Just something I think I'm going to play with a lot on it. It depends on how many mold lines I see in a kit determines if I go back and clean them up. If it is many, I take the extra steps, but if it is a few, I don't bother. I think it depends on what you're trying to do with the kit too. This being a competition build, this may be a little bit different. you know, if you're just top coating or you're snap building and they're not in a super prevalent place, I could see that being something you skip. What's a struggle? I was massaging my wife. Some of the mold lines on this kit, some reason to miss. Yeah, I'm sure. Theoretically, where this is a picture contest, you could kind of cut corners if you know exactly what your picture poses are going to be too. Nick didn't send out anything too easy, give people a bit of a challenge. Yeah, I'm going to go back to massaging. I'm jumping ship for the night. See y'all next week. Thank you, Nick. See you later, Marcus. Okay, is there anything else on there? I think I got them all. I'll go back and look at this other piece and make sure I didn't miss any, but I think it's all pretty clean. H1 4 and E1 9. So H1 4. Yeah, it's wild. Look at the difference in print quality between older Delphi kit decals and newer ones like G Rework. Chest together is going to be a pain to take back apart. It's good to know. Did you trim any pegs or anything? E19. I recommend trimming pegs on that AIM. The redacted kit, the giveaway this evening. There is no giveaway this evening. The giveaway is the friends we made along the way, or maybe it's just the amazing deals for the Black Friday sale that's going on now. But I couldn't bring myself to adding another kit to the humongous backlog of orders Sean's dealing with. Behind by like 3 weeks after this week's sales stuff so far. Some parts that nest in each other, that'll be a pain to get apart again. Grass winners who got 80% off. Yeah, exactly. I mean, at multiple of those discount levels, depending on the item, it's like I'm giving away a little something with every single one. Imagine if it actually had the opposite effect. People order something because there is no prize. I don't know if that necessarily will happen. I've noticed in general that ordering doesn't happen during the stream anywhere near what it used to be. I think that's partially because so many of you guys are regulars and probably order right on the restocks or sale announcements or whatever, but like I don't know that we've had more than like an order or so since the stream started, because the stream doesn't generate that much. I think we're finally seeing things slow down a little bit with the sale. A lot of people blew their wad this week and might need a week to recover before they try again. People that couldn't get everything they wanted. Right, when I order something else, Sean is going to live in the warehouse. Exactly. I wouldn't be surprised though, right? There's so many good deals available that I suspect if I were in everybody else's shoes, I would look at the sale, potentially place an order for whatever it is I needed the most, or whatever I thought the best deals were, the ones least likely to continue being available. I don't really like this. I think I might do something to that later when I'm doing stuff to this kit. But then coming back, you know, after the next paycheck or whatever, what's Sean Black Friday bonus going to be? He tried to offer to do some work volunteering to do extra work without getting paid, and I was like, no, I'm putting extra hours, but let's try to avoid overtime because he's got some other stuff going on, and let's make sure I pay you, dude. Bonus is a hot dog and a handshake. There's a PG new in a stocking. This bonus is the many smiles you can't see. Alright, so this one goes here. I'm not going to push that one in all the way because I feel like that might be tricky to pull out. A24. How many markers will Sean use up signing the orders? I don't know. Decent amount, I'm sure. His bonus is he doesn't have to worry about being bored. That's the biggest bonus. be cool if they could figure out how to make red plastics that don't have all the negatives that reds seem to have. They're always like more brittle or something. I think if I've ever had a red plastic on a Bandai kit that didn't feel worse than most of the other colors. It's like something about the color additives or something. Seems harder and gums up my files faster than other colors. Yeah, red's my least favorite to clean up, not because of the feel, but because the plastic dust is more noticeable on my razor. Yeah, it's just there's something about it that is not ideal. Can't quite put my finger on exactly what it is. Seen one of those videos where the person is just staring at the camera, signing autographs without looking at what's going. It's going to be shown by the end of this. Pro Zero is one of the worst red plastics I've seen yet. Yeah, it pretty much sums it up. He was signing some packing cards as I was leaving today. I think I mentioned earlier in the stream, I was there doing my thing and helped him out a little bit because he was putting in a couple extra hours trying to get a few more orders out today, and we were talking about something. I forget what we were talking about, but he was signing packing cards while we were chatting, and it felt like he was just looking at me and signing. I can help. I got 2 years experience packing eBay orders. Honestly, like I'm almost like, we want to get orders out ASAP, but efficiency is such a big thing right now that even if I had a huge pool of people, I mean, we got a packing station, but the second packing station is kind of buried right now. There's not a ton of space. That if you had twice the people, but you're not getting at least twice the output out, then it's not a great option in a lot of ways. So like this coming Friday or the following Friday, I shouldn't be working the day job, so I should be able to come in for good part of the day and try to pick for them and try to speed things up and get a few of the things I need to get done over there done. But that's not gonna double things, but I don't have to pay myself, so there's that. God hand's worth the investment. Think I'm getting them or save for new display nippers. Display and God hand are the 3.0 display nippers and the God hand 5.0 ultimate nippers, whatever they're called, are pretty close in quality. I've been using God hands. This pair I've used for, I don't know, like 6 years, 7 years, something like that. Probably almost as long as I've been in the hobby. And they've been great. Haven't had any breakage issues, any of that kind of stuff. Some people do have issues with them, and the display nippers are almost as good, like 98%, 99%. They're really close and significantly cheaper. So it really kind of depends on which one you choose. Kind of depends on your own preferences. You're the kind of person that likes to have the more premium thing, or are you value driven? Well, that's interesting. Does this piece like pop out? Is that the idea? Red-handed God hands are slept on. They're more durable than the ultimate nippers, but don't cut quite as clean. They're great first cut single blade, and they don't break on clear parts. You need to find a website lists all different versions of God hand nippers. There's probably a place out there that lists them all. The God hand, I forget what they're called. I think they're God hand. They make a nipper that's kind of like an entry nipper that's really, really durable and still cuts pretty good. F16 and A1. And great if hobby shops something allowed you to test nippers out before purchase. Yeah, it depends on the nipper though. Like I feel like something like the God Hand Ultimate Nippers, I'd be really leery to have them available to test, because unless you're going to supervise everybody that does it, somebody's going to try to cut the wrong thing or twist them or do something stupid. November's halfway over. Left-hand version of God Hand is very useful also. Yeah, I wish I had left-hand Ultimate Nippers, honestly, because there's sometimes where flipping them around would help a lot for cleaning up certain types of nubs and stuff. But they're not super easily found over here. I don't think they even distribute them in the US. At least they didn't last time I paid attention. So nipper test immediately goes to a clear 3mm clear runner. Yeah, it just tries to cut through the runner itself or whatever. I guess that's probably about 3mm, 5mm. I'm just gonna cut right through this thick clear piece and try to reshape it with these Ultimate Nippers I don't own, and then twist while I do it, and then maybe drop them on a concrete floor. It's all part of the test, you see. Oh, there's a God Hand USA online store. Perhaps you just bought a pair of broken nippers, but yeah, would not work. Yeah, I mean, like, during AnyMech, we had a bunch of different tools available for people to kind of play with and stuff. Which is handy, but I don't think we had any nippers out. Nippers in particular, I think, are easy to break or damage. I see people on Reddit who don't know how to use tools like balancers, for example. I'd believe it. G1-4. I can see nippers easily getting broken. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it happens all the time. Thankfully, we don't get a lot of these messages anymore, but I feel like there was a period where we would get these, hey, my god hands broke, can you replace them? It's like, well, what'd you use them on? And they'd be like, oh yeah, I just like threw them across the room, or, you know, whatever other stupid, clearly bad idea thing. Like, did you not read the documentation? Like, they're not covered for user error. Bouncers in place of sanding sticks. Yeah, that's gonna be great. Can't see that going wrong at all. That or something. So probably want to get these ones covered better. Hey Bird Soup, what's up? happy to report when I went to Taco Bell today, I actually had a service from somebody who knew what they were doing, unlike last week. Wanted to give the dude a high five at the pickup window, but I restrained myself. So you can just order left-handed ultimate straight from Guardian USA. Interesting. Maybe we might have even have seen them available, but maybe we skipped on them based on interest or something. I can't remember at this point. Find another store selling left-hand ultimate in 2 seconds. I spent Googling. It's also possible that they decided not to distribute them, but just carry them themselves. Or those minimum quantity issues that make them difficult for most other places to do. We've definitely had things, there's certain things that we would have carried, but the ask was too large of a minimum quantity on something. Kind of makes it difficult. I guess something that maybe is more obscure. I don't know how many people actually buy the left-handed nipper. You need to purchase the box your Mecha Warehouse into competition. Yes. Yes, that is part of the deal. People essentially entered before they knew what it was. Entering afterwards is kind of like seeing the race course before you enter. You have an advantage in that you could have decided to not. I suppose you could buy the box and decide not to participate, but that's up to you, I suppose. How many finished entries do you expect back? I think with Redacted 2 we sold 110 boxes and we received 50 something entries, maybe 60. So that was somewhere around, let's say 50%. So I'm hoping a little bit more this time. It is a larger kit, so I wouldn't be surprised if a few more people drop out. We try to allow a little more time, which might give us a better chance of people successfully submitting. But we won't really know till we get there. I'd love to see, 100% or close to 100% completion rate, but time management, unexpected things, etc. It can be challenging sometimes. I'm going to trim these pegs on this piece here. See that? So you have to judge that many. I mean, that's true. I expect judging will be easier with only 2 judges this time around instead of 5. It'll be, we'll have less to sift through. Right, we each pick our top 3 or whatever. Top 3, top 5, something like that. And then debate and discuss which ones should be what. And I expect it also to be easier because I feel like, I mean, I've entered a bunch of like IDPA, IPMS kind of contests and stuff, and Sean does too. So we have, you know, experience in that realm, whereas some of the past times we had people that had never entered anything like that and didn't really have a firm grasp of that stuff, so you kind of had to educate some of the judges in the process. I'm gonna try to Baja Blast pie at Taco Bell. What makes it a pie? You don't necessarily need to have done that kind of stuff to judge, but it certainly helps if you've been in that environment and you've talked to judges and you give an understanding for what it takes to make, you know, remove seam lines and what makes the paint finish look good and whatever. It's, you get somebody who's not educated in that stuff and they get kind of distracted by quote unquote shiny things. Oh, this looks unique. Oh, that's creative, whatever. And that's, you know, that stuff's valuable and part of the process, but if you can't look at fundamentals first, I don't think a poorly done build that's flashy should beat out a very well done build that is, you know, not quite as flashy. You know, like there's a little bit of both. I dropped it last week. Limited number per Taco Bell. What makes it a pie? Is it like an actual pie? Is it like a, you know, little hand pie with a Baja Blast goo inside? Like, I just don't know how to picture this. 52 is a challenge because there are some builds that look incredible, great details or weathering, but left seam lines. 8 to 9 inch cream type pie. Interesting. Cold play pile of poop is still a pile of poop. It's just shiny. Yeah, and there's definitely some of that where, and there's a little bit, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have all those things perfect to be the winner, but if you're failing on that stuff consistently, even if it's a really cool idea, the execution does matter. I understand Baja Blast is like Mountain Dew, right? I'm just trying to wrap my head around this. Might need to Google it later. Yeah, it is. So, like, is it like I don't know. I'm trying to imagine what this would be like. Some build that was perfectly executed gold over an ambitious one that missed fundamentals. I agree. I think something that if you have a very ambitious one that's well done generally, but missed a fundamental in a place, it might beat out one that's perfect but boring, if that makes sense. Like there's some value to being ambitious over being safe and perfect, but it's a subjective line. This team should link on Discord on the Baja Blast Pie. Okay. Derailed. Yeah, so it's like almost like a chocolate cream pie, but it's not chocolate, it's Baja Blast something. Wow. Sorry guys, this was important. Very, very true. All right. A114. I don't feel like it appeals to me at all. I keep my plastic reactors happy. I don't know, it doesn't appeal to me at all. I don't think I would get one. The latest thing, I think I mentioned earlier that Kate like wants to bake again, and I want to let her or whatever. She made a brownie thing with like a cheesecake topping and a toffee sauce the other night. It was pretty good. I'd try a slice. It's probably like a lemon meringue type pie without the meringue. Yeah, stuff like that. But I don't tend to like fruity. I mean, I guess that's not even necessarily true. I like apple pie a lot. I think Kate's made like a blueberry pie that's really good. Like, I don't know, I guess I'd be curious, but I don't think I would ever pay for it. If I was at a thing and I could try a really small piece, I might go for it. See you later, Weeks. That sucks, you have to buy a whole pie for $20 to try it. Yeah, that's kind of... Nick is pie curious. Love undergates that I can just snip from the backside. Only have to sand 1 in 5 instead of every nub. The stream is almost over. Yeah, it went pretty quick tonight. Sorry to distract, but looks like part the foot mounts too is on backwards. I don't think so. Looks pretty correct to me. I was in the kitchen cooking and I heard something about pie. Yeah, talking about the Taco Bell Baja Blast pie. Which just, it's hard to wrap your head around. Okay, no, it's just the angle. Yeah, it's easy to confuse these kinds of things. I think I looked at it like 3 times to make sure I had it right before I started snapping parts together there. Baja Blast Pie sold out almost instantly near where I live. I wasn't even aware it existed until now. Thanks for the build time, everyone. Have a good evening. See you later, Velocidad. Have a good evening as well. I put one on backwards, didn't realize it until I was doing the other leg. I could see that. I'm gonna wrap up this piece and that'll probably be it for the night. Nice and simple. Good night, everyone. I'll catch you next time. Alright, so let's get this sucker on there. Alright. So I think that's where we're going to wrap up for the night. This is going to be cool when this is all in there. Alright, so I think that's it for tonight. We'll be back next week, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We'll be picking up where we left off on this kit. So have a great rest of your weekend. If you haven't yet, head over to mechawarehouse.com and check out our Black Friday sale. Just don't expect it to ship in the next couple of weeks. Wait for it to be like, okay, time for giveaway for those that stayed at PGU. Shh. See you guys next time. Later all.